The YouTube video at the centre of the case sparked a frenzy of online rumour mongering by conspiracy theorists and the far right. A court here in France has ordered two women to pay €8,000 in damages to First Lady Brigitte Macron after they made false claims that she was transgender. Macron filed a libel complaint against the two women who posted the footage, alleging that she'd once been a man named Jean-Michel. The claim went viral just weeks before the 2022 presidential election. Well, to discuss the impact such a case might have on the transgender community, we're joined now by Flora Bolter, co-director of the LGBTI Observatory at the Fondation Jean Jaures. Thank you so much for being with us on the programme this evening. Brigitte Macron, she didn't attend this trial. She wasn't present for the ruling. Many people might be wondering this evening why she went to such bother to suppress claims that were so obviously false. Why did the presidency take the video so seriously, and what do you make of this case?
Well, it's a very complex case because the video in question was an extremely long video with very harebrained theories about how Brigitte Macron was the same person as her brother. And this, I think, the main problem with this video was that it made big news and it was very viral at one point, and that was during the campaign. So there was, it did create some impact and some blowback on the president's campaign and on Brigitte Macron's life at that time. She received quite a lot of abuse at that time. So I think the idea was to respond to this and not let it go, not let it slide, basically. But the question of how exactly to name and to qualify the what was said has been extremely complicated.
Yeah, and do you believe that she could have responded differently, perhaps? Were you surprised that this video was subject to legal action at the highest levels of the French state?
Well, I'm not surprised in the sense that there is a strong will on the part of the French government and on the part of French authorities in recent years to counter and to attack, to respond blow by blow to conspiracy theories and to attack all these sorts of videos, as opposed to just turning a blind eye to it, which would probably be the most common approach. So that was also a way to show that the president and Brigitte Macron took this issue seriously and were intent on using the possibilities of the law, possibilities that had been increased in recent years in 2020 on questions of conspiracy theories and online harassment. But it is I think that it was not necessarily very well thought out in terms of legal ramifications and qualifications. The initial case was brought on questions of privacy laws, which was a bit bizarre, and the prosecution changed that to a libel case. Which also raises another question, which is how does one consider allegations that a person is transgender? So it's in that sense, if they had wanted to do something in favor of trans rights, then probably a case could have been brought with trans organizations and bringing attention to transphobia and to the impact of transphobia on people's lives. The choice which was made was very conservative, and the attack, the problem with the whole situation was connected not to, as you know, in French libel law, the issue was not whether being transgender is an attack on her honor, but more on questions of did it expose her to a loss of reputation among some voters. And I think that's what the court had in mind when they said that there had indeed been a defamation. But this defamation is absolutely correlated to the fact that there is transphobia and is not separable from the fact that being called transgender also exposes one to transphobia.
And not an attack on her honour, as you say, Flora, but what kind of a message do cases like this send to people who are actually transgender?
Well, it's a bit bizarre because it could be interpreted, it could be taken as a case to further the right to privacy and to say that people should not, there are many people online who have a very intense life trying to transvesticate, as they say, many different people. So this could be used to protect them against these people who have huge campaigns attacking pretty much everyone and accusing them of being transgender, which in their view is a negative thing. So it could certainly be used against outing or against unwanted or unwarranted speculations about their gender identity. But it could also be said, some people might also view it as saying that being transgender is in and of itself considered a bad thing, or could be assimilated to a form of libel in and of itself, which of course would not be a very positive move and would not necessarily be very favorable to trans people in general.
It is a complicated case, as you say, Flora. We will have to leave it there for now, but thank you so much for your time on the programme with us. That's Flora Bolter, co-director of the LGBTI Observatory at the Fondation Jean Jaures. Well, it is time now for our